Okay, let me be a little more clear. People like the ship designs from the prequels, and it's not hard to see why. With the prequels taking place in a time of relative peace and freedom, and the movies having come out when they did, we got plenty of awesome new ship designs. So LEGO, if I may, allow me to ask you one question. When it comes to the UCS sets, to the Ultimate Collector series that you've been putting out for almost 2 decades now, how come we continue to get ships from the original trilogy? Today, on May 1st, 2020, we are receiving a new ship design in the UCS A-Wing, but that's still the 23rd different original trilogy ship, and that is not including any of the remakes. And speaking of remakes, were you aware that you actually have more remakes of OT sets than you have prequel sets at all? And it's not that people don't want prequel sets. It's a little hard to determine when you don't ever give us any. But last year you gave us an opportunity to vote on an upcoming UCS set. You gave us a Gunship and 2 original trilogy sets, and to the surprise of pretty much no one except you, the Gunship won with over half of the votes. Now, to be fair, you have tried to make prequel trilogy UCS sets before, and maybe they didn't sell well, so why don't we take a look at them and see. The first set you made was this Darth Maul bust, a set that most people kind of forget exists, and many don't even consider to be a UCS set. And when it came out, it retailed for $150 and contained 1,860 pieces.
That's good!
However, this set for some reason had the instructions in a top-down view, making it rather difficult to actually build, and once you've finished putting it all together, let's be honest, it was incredibly creepy. Those eyes will stare into your soul while you sleep.
Ooh, that's bad.
And then a short time later, you made what's actually one of my favorite UCS sets, the Special Edition Naboo Starfighter. At the time of its release, it retailed for $40, but contained a record low 187 pieces.
That's bad.
Don't get me wrong, a lot of people, myself included, love the look of this set. The chrome pieces really does make it unique. But the piece count is what turns a lot of people away nowadays because of the prices that this goes for on places like Bricklink, where it's just not worth spending that much money for so few pieces. And I guess it didn't sell well because you then made another 9 original trilogy UCS sets over the course of the next 6 years before we got what is generally considered to be one of the worst UCS sets. In fact, this set is so bad, even the people who remember Darth Maul and can sleep with him staring at them at night forget that this set exists, and I'm speaking, of course, about General Grievous. Now, I actually got this set when it came out, because Grievous was one of my favorite characters in Revenge of the Sith, and this set, when it came out, retailed for $90 and contained 1,085 pieces.
That's good!
But it looks bad. And not just bad, but this thing is pretty ugly. It doesn't really look like Grievous, it doesn't really pose well, and the sticker has zero information on it outside of just saying Grievous. But I guess that one sold okay because it would only be another 2 years until we got what would be our last prequel trilogy UCS set for over a decade. And out of all of them, this one was probably the best one, and of course, it's Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighter from Episode 2, which is arguably the worst prequel movie. But this set retailed for $100 and only contained 676 pieces.
That's bad.
And suddenly, I'm noticing a pattern here. 2 of the sets are of characters and could questionably be called a UCS set, as both Darth Maul and Grievous I'm not really certain about. And the other two sets fail to reach even 1,000 pieces in them and contain some of the lowest piece counts out of all the UCS sets, because when it comes to the 23 original trilogy set, only one has less than 1,000 pieces, and that was the UCS TIE Fighter, which, if you don't know, was the very first set ever released. Unless you, like many people, count the original Cloud City, which still has more pieces than either Obi-Wan Starfighter and, of course, the Naboo Starfighter. Now, perhaps you've never actually seen the prequel trilogy, so you're like, I don't actually know what ships I can do. Don't worry, I've got you covered. You could do the Lucre Hulk, the Republic Cruiser, the Nubian Royal Starship. You could do Pod Racers and have it for the very first time be 2 sets in 1, as you do both Sebulba's and Anakin's. You could do the AAT or the MTT. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would like that one. You're already doing the Gunship, so why not keep going down that line and maybe do the Dropship? You can do the ATTE with that if you really wanted to. You could do this thing, which is apparently called the self-propelled heavy artillery. What about the Venator? Seriously, do you know how many people would buy a Venator? It's one of the coolest ships in all of Star Wars. Or, if you want, you can do its counterpart, the Invisible Hand. You could do the ETA-2 class starfighter, the ARC 170 ship, Revis's ship if you really wanted to. How about the Juggernaut / Clone Turbo Tank? You could do an AT-OT or an AT-AP. There are so many different ideas from the prequel trilogy that you can use, that we really don't need to keep having remakes and sets from the original trilogy. We get it. You like it. We like it. Don't get me wrong, we do like it, but we want to see more. There are now 9 Star Wars films. We need to see more outside of just the ones that you grew up with, because guess what? I'm 26 years old now. I didn't grow up with the original trilogy. I grew up with the prequels. And yes, I love the original trilogy because I love all things Star Wars, but the prequels are the ones that I remember from my childhood, and those ships from them deserve some love too. So please, take a break from the original trilogy. Put it on the back burner for a second. You can always come back to it. But now you have 6 other main Star Wars films to look at, not to mention Rogue One and Solo, which have cool designs of their own. Give some love to the fans who are growing up and want to give you their money. Because you know what? I'm getting a little tired of seeing another Star Destroyer, another X-Wing. You literally had more remakes in a row than you have prequel set. So if you're like me and you love the original trilogy, but you also just love Star Wars because it's Star Wars, then please put a comment down below. Tell me what set you want to see made. What ship do you want to see in UCS form? And I don't care if it's an original trilogy set or a prequel set. Tell me what you want to see. And if you want to see a prequel set, hit that like button for me so we can show LEGO that people want something different. Not to say that what they've been putting out is bad. It's not. I've actually bought all of their recent sets except the new Star Destroyer. It's just that I'm ready for something different. So thank you for your time. On Sunday, I'll have the news up. And on Tuesday, I will have a review of a custom UCS Lucre Hulk. So if you want to see that, hit the subscribe button down below and ring the bell so you know when it goes live. And I'll see you then.